Good evening, viewers, and you're welcome to the program Stock and Shares. We had promised you 3 weeks back that we're going to do part 2 of the third quarter forecast by a number of companies. But we had to skip this because we had to deal with the position as to the end of July 2022 last week. So we bring in today the second part of what the forecast is for a number of companies, talking about the July to September segment of the Nigerian market. And hopefully this will also give some insight as to some of the pricing that you begin to see on the market already. But that is not all that we'll be sharing with you, because if you're also a regular follower of this program, one of the things that you'll find is that the structure of the program is one that also includes having to talk about market development. I will also be talking about development itself within the week, and then we'll be closing on the note in terms of development as to how the market also did end at the end of trading today. But that is not leaving out our regulars. And talking about our regulars, we'll be talking about corporate results. Our two companies will be on parade as to what they're also doing. Again, with the intention of helping you to further understand the performances of all companies as far as they are listed on the NGX or on the NASD. Don't also forget that Company of the Week is something that we also pride ourselves in, because that itself helps to throw up the other side of the market, be it positive, be it negative. But for our first-time viewers, we'll be hoping that you'll be joining the growing number of viewers who also send in questions or raise issues week in, week out. And all that you need to do is to use the two platforms that we'll be sharing with you in the course of this program. That should come up any moment from now. Whether you send an SMS or you send an email, what all of those will do is basically to help us aggregate the direction that the program should be running. Like I said, be it by SMS, be it by email. But what is much more important is that the issue that you also raise is not one that we bring to you raw. They only serve as raw materials to direction that the market should be going. And then we then take the next step, which is having to research them. And then the third step, which is having to present them in a manner that they also become meaningful in your taking investment decision. So join the growing number, like we said, and you'll be amazed as to how you also help the program to remain on air, because the program itself is built around bottom up, your interest first, and then every other interest thereafter. And it's on that note that we ask that you permit us to take the first break, and when we return after the first break, we'll basically be telling you all that we have said in the summary. But if you think because you've also heard the summary, you don't have any need to be part of the program, we can confirm to you that you'll be more than 300% plus not being correct. So relax and share the time with us.
Ever wondered how easy it would be if your bank was part of your life? Sort of like an assistant, a buddy, and a plug.
Alert, you there?
Always alert, sir.
I see what you did there. Am I up to date? What was that?
Your repayment has just been done. By the way, I found a cheaper ticket for your flight.
Awesome. Schedule my run for 7:19 a.m. tomorrow. I missed it this morning.
Already done.
What else?
Grocery shopping. The list has been sent to your phone.
Perfect. Anything else?
All done. Just get ready for your date.
All right, cool.
Welcome to the future of banking. Alert. Simple, reliable, and convenient. A smarter way to bank.
For every uncertainty that life presents on a daily basis, there is only one cover you can be sure of: the Sovereign Trust Insurance PLC cover. We have all it takes to give you the assurance that life can be perfect, even in the midst of uncertainty. Come under our cover today and put life's uncertainty behind you. Sovereign Trust Insurance PLC. We've got you covered.
You're welcome back. And if you're just joining us, the program is Stock and Shares. Let's quickly mention that for the market, interestingly, there's been a search party. And the search party basically revolves around when will another 2 billion units of shares be traded on our market. 5 straight years, the market has been in search. Because the last time that the market traded over 2 billion happens to be in 2017, when it did 2.52 billion units of shares. And when it came to value, interestingly, this is the 4th year and the market is still searching, because the last time that the market did provide 20 billion in terms of 20 billion naira worth in terms of transaction happens to be in 2018. But if you then begin to wonder, how does this affect the direction of the index? Again, we'll be sharing with you that for the 3rd consecutive years, the index is closed positive, which also means that the market is in search of the market closing negative for 3 straight years. But all of this can also be seen in the context of, in terms of volume, this is the, we only had 15 times, we only had 5 times having the market close with over 2 billion units of shares traded. And interestingly, after the 2007 to 2009, 3 straight years of the market closing positive, closing above 2 billion rather, it didn't happen until 2015 for another 2 billion to be traded. And that itself is meaning that the market had to wait for 6 years for the markets to then do a 2 billion. But if you then look at the value, you also will find that, yes, we've had 6 years between 2006 to 2022. But after 2007 to 2009, another 3 straight years of the market closing with over 20 billion naira worth of transaction, not until 2014, which also means that 5 straight years wait. And then after 2014, another 3 years wait to 2017 and then 2018. So only 4 years between 2006 and 2022 did the market have the performance crossing the 2 billion in terms of units and 20 billion in terms of value. And that again happens to be 2007 to 2009 and then 2017 becoming the 4th year. However, in terms of the direction of the index, 2007, 2009, and 2017, those were the 3 years that enjoyed the market closing positive. If you then look at the next chart that we'll be sharing with you, which is a more detailed picture, if you like, portrait as to how the market has done, first in the last 3 years, and then we'll be supporting it with what the market has done since 2005 to date. What you will find, interestingly, is that the premium sector, ironically, was one that went up in the week and going up in the week by 3.26%, basically helped the market to close positive, notwithstanding the fact that the market also did close positive on the last trading day of the week. And then you will find that one sector, interestingly, before then, it's also important to mention that the premium sector had 4 companies appreciating in price and only 1 company going down. and that basically explains the bullish nature, so to speak, that the market enjoyed in the week. So we had a situation, like I said, that the sector basically saved the direction of the index. But if you then look at what the main market had done, because the main market itself did go down by 1.16%, though the yield today is still standing at almost 29. It did go down, and that's basically explain why the all share index remained positive, because had the premium sector had taken a lighter climb than what the main market did in terms of going south, the market certainly will have closed negative. But let's share with you that the premium sector did close positive 2020 to 2022, 3 straight years, just like the all share index. But the insurance subsector, on the other hand, haven't suffered a 7 straight years drop, 2016 to 2022. That sector, ironically, that's the insurance subsector, had a situation where it did close 11 times in 14 years negative, while the Lotus subsector, on the other hand, had 2020 to 2022, 3 years positive, just like the premium sector. But in all, it must also be mentioned that in 2022, we had a situation where the consumer subsector is closing the first time positive in 12 weeks, and in closing positive, it did go up by 3% to take the yield to date just 0.21%. While the industrial subsector, it had 8 straight weeks of being negative, and if you also then look at the industrial subsector in the week under review, it did drop by 5.76%, and that itself is leaving the yield to date at a negative of 3.22, and that also meant that the corporate governance index joined in having to close negative, just like the insurance subsector that we talked about and the banking subsector in terms of yield to date. But before we drop the chart, let's also mention that for investors in United Nigerian Textile, because we still get some of these messages asking what has happened. This interesting is 11 years ago that the company was delisted, which means that you have just 1 more year for you to be able to recoup your money. So if you're an investor, please do approach the registrar, and I'm sure they will tell you much more as to what to do. But this itself is happening for 2022. We can also confirm to you that Coronation Insurance, which used to be former WAPIC, has basically been off technical suspension, while in 2022 we also had the listing of the private placement that was taken by Capital Hotel, and a total of 1.61 billion units of shares were added to the size of Capital Hotel. But flipping the next chart, which is again another indicator as to how the market did fare in the week under review. First, you will find that this is the 4th time, interestingly, in 5 years that the market, this is the 3rd time in 5 years that the market is doing less than 100 companies standing at attention at the end of the week, because of the 93 companies that did finish in the week, we still had a situation where the market did close positive on the last trading day of the week. Similarly, for 2021, 97 companies did stay no gain position, but the market did close positive on the last trading day of the week. However, in 2018, when the market did also have 87 companies, we had a situation where the index did close negative on the last trading day of the week. And it's on that note that we take another break. And when we come back after the break, we'll be telling you the companies that basically help to push the market down, up rather, in the direction that we talked about earlier. But that itself will not be taking away the companies